Meanwhile, the Justice Department is asking an appeals court to freeze the order requiring it to pay out SNAP benefits in full. But the USDA says it will pay out those full benefits. This comes after a district judge ordered the USDA provide full SNAP benefits. CBS News White House reporter Aaron Navarro joins us live. Aaron, the DOJ said the government can't pay out benefits in full during the government shutdown, but the USDA says it will comply with the order. So what's the very latest?
Yeah, this is some big news where the Agricultural Department says that they will make a full month of funding for SNAP benefits available to states to then provide to individuals to load onto their EBT cards, as the Rhode Island judge ordered. This letter was sent to all regional directors for SNAP across the country, and as you mentioned, comes after the Justice Department is still looking to appeal that decision from the Rhode Island judge and call for an emergency stay of the order. Earlier this week, the administration said that they would pay up to 65% of SNAP benefits for the month, but warned that there could be delays in getting states to adjust their systems to this reduced amount. In the order, the federal judge did not buy that excuse, said that the delay was, quote, politically motivated, and called onto the Agricultural Department to tap into multiple contingency funds to fund the $9 billion or so that are needed for the month for SNAP benefits. So it seems that while the Justice Department is still challenging that order legally, the Agriculture Department is complying with the order and getting the funds sent to the states.
And Aaron, President Donald Trump met with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban today. What were the key takeaways from that meeting?
Yeah, Viktor Orban came into this meeting with a goal of getting an exemption from President Trump.
All right, we have to talk about this situation with the SNAP benefits. If you didn't know, SNAP benefits hit today. A lot of people received their SNAP benefits on the 7th, and they woke up this morning in a celebratory mood. I called my folks, my kinfolk, who received SNAP benefits and asked them if their taxpayer, I'm a taxpayer, if their taxpayer funded free manna from heaven arrived on their card this morning, and they confirmed that it had with a resounding yes. So the brokies will eat once again. There's a humongous problem with this situation, and I don't think a lot of people really understand the gravity, what this actually means. When a lower court judge federal judge orders the government, he's a judge, is ordering the president to pay SNAP benefits in full, with people fully realizing that the president is the executive. He's the guy who was elected. The judge was not. So we trust the president to make the decisions that are necessary to keep this country going strong economically, right? Congress has the power of the purse, so they decide how money is spent, allocated, and where it goes. The president is the executive. He actually executes the agreed upon goal of the government. And the problem is there is no agreed upon agenda, right? Because they're trying to negotiate, but the Democrat Party is choosing not to negotiate because they are able to use their refusal to negotiate, their filibuster, to stifle Donald Trump and prevent him from doing anything that he has on his agenda to do as president. There's a lot of problems with this right now. If things go the way they are going, you are now ruled by federal judges. You're not ruled by the president. You're not ruled by your elected representatives. You are being ruled by federal judges. They are telling the president, who is the chief, he's the head, he's the HNIC, they're telling him what he better do. And he obviously is pushing back and taking it to the Supreme Court, but it does take time. And the USDA is going along with the order to fund the SNAP benefits as much as they can until there is a final ruling made by the Supreme Court. But like I said, this is going to go over a lot of people's heads. So when I talk about this stuff is for those of us who know. If you understand what's going on, you understand how dangerous this is. You understand that it is absolutely diabolical that a political party would use the starvation of Americans and America's children as a form of leverage, basically holding the American people hostage, holding the American people hostage to try to force the president and the Republicans to capitulate to a budget that would ensure free health care for millions of illegal immigrants who are not citizens of this country, have not paid anything into the economy of this country, but have simply showed up and are now being given benefits that the American people who are legal don't even get. Understand that these people starved your children. They were willing to starve your children so that they could give a bunch of illegal immigrants free health care. That's basically what's going on. Democrat Party politicians were ready to starve American children in the name of providing free stuff, free benefits for illegal immigrants. And it's not something that they can argue with, because they're on record saying that, hey, we had to use this moment as a leverage point because we didn't have any real power to fight Republicans, which, why is it a fight? You're negotiating a budget for all Americans. But they said, hey, this was the only leverage we had to get at Republicans so that we could try to force them to agree to doing things that the American people did not agree to. Give me a 1 in the comments if you could hear me okay. I didn't check that with you all. Throw me a 1. But I look, I'm African American, so it's really hard for me to understand a lot of, it's not hard, but I try to approach it from the perspective that it is looked at by African Americans, right? And what I've seen over the past week is African Americans we've sold ourselves out in California officially. We no longer have any power in voting. The minute we all voted for Prop 50 to pass, the first thing the politicians said was they were going to gerrymander the electoral map to strengthen the voting power of Latinos. Now, understand that Latinos make up over 50% of California. So the idea that Latinos' voting power needs to be strengthened is absolutely ridiculous. And if their power is strengthened, that means someone else's power is weakened. So now that we've allowed the politicians, who many of which are Latino, they are now drawing the maps. They said that they are going to strengthen the power of the Latino vote. That clearly weakens the already dwindling power of the black vote. It weakens the power of the white vote in all other groups, right? So we sold ourselves out. And black people are literally, I got people on my Instagram, and it's all women. They're literally, they are celebrating. They are thumbing their nose at people. I'm sure some of the stuff they post, they are directed at me, which is fine, but they are celebrating. They're celebrating their voting, their loss of voting power. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? But I want to show you guys this. This is from a video that I made earlier where the Democrats actually admit repeatedly that they used the starvation of American children as a leveraging tactic to force the president to capitulate to their unreasonable demands to continue wasteful spending while simultaneously screaming that the country is in debt. Let me play this. care for illegal immigrants.
Shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
So this woman literally said, shutdowns are terrible. And of course, there's going to be some families that suffer, and we take on that responsibility, but it's the only leverage point we have. How on earth are there still black folks? I'm just talking about black folks right now. How on earth are there still black people saying this is the Republicans' fault? The Democrats literally told you we're not going to negotiate for the budget because by not negotiating and allowing you to suffer, that gives us leverage over the Democrat Party, because we know that the people who vote for us are so damn stupid that if anything bad happens, they blame Republicans, no matter who's actually causing it. But what I want you to understand, and the point that let me play this. Let me play them admitting it again. Hold on. Now, the Republican Party, and I've explained this before, and I'll explain it again. The Republican Party is actually I only used her, but John Fetterman, Democrat from Pennsylvania, he's a Democrat who's going after his own party, saying there is no way the Democrat Party should be using the starvation of the American people, the threat of starvation of the American people, as a negotiating tactic against the Republicans. That is a us versus me mindset, when we're all supposed to have a let's work together for the benefit of everybody mindset. So I just want you, as you receive your benefits, I know most welfare queens don't watch this show. I understand that. But as you receive your benefits, I want you to understand something. You've placed yourself in a position to where now the Democrat Party is willing to starve its voters as a leverage tool, as a negotiation tool to try to hurt the Republican Party. So come around this time again next year, just understand they'll take it even further. They'll take it even further because they've proven that they don't give a damn about the people who follow them, which as African Americans who have been voting Democrat for decades, we know that. We know the Democrat Party doesn't care about the people who vote for them. But they keep telling you, no, we're the good guys. We're the good guys. The Democrat Party would not vote for a continuing resolution that lasted only until November 21st so they can keep the government open while they continue to negotiate with Republicans about the budget. Right? That's what's going on. That's what's going on. They're literally lying. We live in the age of information. Instead of people actually using their phones and all that stuff to learn what's actually going on, right? The Democrat Party, African American women, liberal white women, this little coalition of demons, they are literally working to hurt the American people so badly that the American people will blame it on Trump and then they'll vote for Democrats. How do you ever win when the party that you support benefits by hurting you? How do you ever get ahead when the party that you vote for, they win by hurting you? That means you're gonna, like Clubber Lang said in Rocky, I predict pain. I predict pain. They're gonna hurt you. You're gonna blame Trump because you don't like him. So you're gonna vote in a Democrat, and you're gonna be just like the people down in Chicago, where now you're suffering. And you're crying and you're whining and you're complaining, and there's nothing anybody could do about it. People do it to themselves. People do it to themselves. And you have guys like me trying to teach you, try to help you so you can understand. And you know what we get? Oh, you're boring. Oh, right? but I'm not the one on food stamps. Shout out to Luke Perry for becoming a member. We need a Defiant brand in Discord. There is a Discord already. Then we won't have to bombard your Instagram. There's a Discord. I put the link to the Discord in the chat last night. I'm going to put it in the chat again tonight. It's Bucci's Boom Boom Room. I will definitely get the Discord to you, my brother. Thank you for becoming a member. Guys, it's not Bizarro World. It's just really, yeah, you could become a member. Just go to membership and become a member, yeah. On the channel, on the main page. But yeah, so I'm educating people. You have to spread the word. People have to spread the word. Yes, the SNAP benefits have arrived. People are going to go back into, their shell of cognitive dissonance. But I'm telling you that there has not been a bill. There has not been a negotiation as to the funding. And the Democrats will continue to use this until the federal government has no money, right? They'll continue to use this until the government has no money. And then they'll say, oh, look at Trump. He bankrupted the government. I already know where this is going. Look at Trump. He bankrupted the government. He doesn't know how to manage. He doesn't know how to this. He doesn't know how to do that. And come midterms, the Democrats will win in a landslide because everyone will believe in that. And once they win in a landslide, if they win in the landslide, they're gonna stop Trump from doing everything he's trying to do, right? The immigration, all that stuff. And 2028 will come along. We'll do another election. A Democrat will probably win because the same dumb people who helped them win in the midterms will probably help them win in the next election. And you're going to have 50 million illegal immigrants allowed to walk across the border. And then you're going to be seeing triple the murders, rapes, and all that you saw under Biden. At this point, no one's playing you. You're playing yourself because there are certain people who believe that they're winning, that this is a win for them. They believe this is a win for them. And most of those people that I see are black females. Black, either divorced or unmarried females. I'm not making this up. I have people on my Instagram. I know them personally. Their husbands left them, and no man wants the other ones. They're desperate. So the way they kind of stick it to you is they vote for our mutual destruction. I can't find a man. My husband left me for a better woman. I'm burning the whole community down. And if I'm lying, I'm fine. It's just the truth. It's just the truth. I'm telling you. You have, and then the other ones, they are loyalists based on religious beliefs. I saw a video today. It's Mamdani. He's a Muslim, some black African chick. Girl, do you know Muslims enslaved Africans for centuries? Right? It's really absolutely ridiculous if you ask me. But here we are. This is where we are in the scheme of things. But SNAP benefits have been restored. There's something else that could potentially happen. People could get their benefits and they could say, you know what? Don't threaten us again. But I encouraged everybody on here. People say, we want solutions. We want solutions. The solution was to immediately start contacting your congressman. Immediately start contacting the Democrat that you vote for and tell them, hey, don't play around with my kids' ability to eat. We didn't send you over there to play games so that now we're starving. But do you think these people will? Vast majority of these people don't vote. And the ones who do, they have a personal score to settle with whoever they are mad at. And they are willing to put everything over their community to settle it. That's what's going on. So in no uncertain terms, I'm telling you, you have now created a situation where your political leaders on the left, they believe that threatening you with starvation is a negotiation tactic when it comes to funding the government. Oh, Republicans, if you don't do what we say, we're going to just starve. We're just going to hold out and refuse to vote until our constituents are starving. And you know they're going to blame you. But if they believe this is the nature of power, if they believe that starving you will drive you to the poll to vote for them, do you not think that they are very willing to starve you? When you starve, they win. So do you think they want your stomach full, or do you think they want your stomach empty? Because they starved you. They threatened you with starvation, and they won these little elections with the New York mayor and these governor races in these blue states. And they're saying us threatening them with starvation delivered those wins. So welcome to a new era in American history, where now Americans are being starved or threatened with starvation, right? So that they can win elections. And I don't know if I played this. Maybe I played this. I don't know if I played this. But last night, even people who have been career Democrats, like Bill Maher is even pissed off with the Democrat Party. My only question to the people who are still supporting the Democratic Party is, what will it take for you to get pissed off as you should be? What will it take for you to get as pissed off as you should be? Because if you ask me, when we saw Joe Biden, right, and he couldn't even walk straight, and the Democrats were like, Biden's qualified to be president. For me, if I was a Democrat, that would have been the final straw. So y'all just gonna sit up here and try to play us? Y'all got this dude creeping around the White House, and bro doesn't even know where he is? He doesn't even know where he is. And you guys put this guy up and told us, hey, go vote for this guy because he's the best option. The Democrat Party has become way too comfortable lying to the people who vote for them. And the people who vote for them have become way too comfortable with being lied to. There has to be a change. Something's got to give.
He is, you'll see again, it's going to start with the Maher clip, but it's Franklin Camargo explaining why the left resents America.
Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual, because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is. But the U.S. is leagues ahead of the rest of the world on most of the progressive issues that are important to young people. America has 14 million women-owned businesses. 17% of black women are starting businesses, which is faster than white women or white men. Gay Americans are free to marry, and 49% of them own property. Yes, in America, gays buy buildings. In other places, they get thrown off them. Globalize the intifada is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problems. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
When you have Bill Maher finger wagging at Democrats after being a Democrat all his life, there's a problem. There's a problem here. There's a disconnect here. And the disconnect is you have a bunch of people who have never even been out the country trying to make here more like out there. And as someone who's been out there, I've been to the Middle East, I've been to Africa, I've been to Europe, I've been everywhere. You don't want here to be like there. But I'm doing my part. I'm raising mine. I'm raising mine. I'm raising mine. I got on stage with Destiny and spread this same message. You guys are just too young to really understand the gravity of what you're saying and understand the gravity of what you're doing. Because if no one ever taught you that something is valuable, you will just treat it like it's not valuable at all. Real quick, come here real quick. Have you ever been out the country?
Yes.
Where have you been?
I want to say we went to Kenya, right? Yeah, Kenya.
Okay. Do you think that country is better than this one? Like, would you like this country to be more like that one?
No.
Why? Give me a reason why.
I mean, it's nice, but I feel like over here is better, mainly like weather-wise and, transportation. I'd rather be in a car than almost on a motorcycle. Just saying. I mean, personally, it's just not for me. I'd rather be out here. I don't really have much to say, but I would rather my place stay how it is.
It's just not as good of a country.
Yeah, it's just not for me at least.
Okay. So, thank you. So she's been out of the country. She stayed in another country. How long did you stay there? Like damn near a month?
Yeah, it was a month.
Yeah. So she's went and lived in Africa for a month. And you got an idiot who doesn't even have a passport telling people, oh, this country is better than. I know this one guy, he's a real moron. He said China is better than the United States. I said, have you ever been to China? No. So how do you know it's better? Oh, because you could just tell looking on the internet. And what my daughter said, I like Kenya for me. I would love to live there for me, but will I be dumb enough to say, oh, it's way better than the United States? I'm not going to lie. It's good for some, better for others than, and it's not good for some other people. But the fact that you got people who have never stepped foot in the Middle East screaming globalize the intifada. You have people who have never been to the Middle East saying, hey, we support Hamas. We support Palestine. What? How do you know that you support that? You've never even met anyone who actually represents that. You've never even met anyone who represents that, but you support that. And that's what's going on. It's malala. Yeah, it's better. America is better for people who are trying to do things like as far as get ahead and stuff. The fact that you asked the question like that, come on, man. I don't really like it. Like what you're doing is being willfully ignorant. That like what you're doing is pretending like you don't understand when you do. And I'm not trying to like come down on people in the audience, but you're pretending like you don't understand when you do. There's a reason a bunch of people are trying to run to America and no one is trying to run to Africa like, yeah, I'm going to make a better life. There are some people who have built up and generated the capital in America to then go to different places and invest that capital in those places to make a living. But if you're starting from square one with nothing, you go to Kenya, you're screwed. You're screwed. Does Kenya have the lowest crime? No. You're not going to win this argument because it's just factually speaking, it's unwinnable for you. This person said, does America have food and high-speed railway and weather? Listen, America doesn't have food? Yeah. That's actually a part of life. You need those things. There's other countries, but I've been to a lot of other countries. What countries have you been to? And I don't even mean to get in this conversation. Let me send this person the link so they could come up and tell us. Watch how they never, they won't click this link. They won't click this link. So this is what I do. You have 3 minutes to click that link and come up here and tell us where you've been and what makes it better than America, or you get excommunicated out of this channel. That's what I do. I don't like people who try to argue. They know that their point is a lie, but they'll still try to argue just to deceive people. See, because that's what we have in this community. See, these are the same people who try to tell you that a man can have a baby. These are the same people who try to tell you that a man playing a woman's sport is equal. It's fair. We've bred this part of society. We've created this part of society where people just lie because it makes them feel good. And then when you catch them in the lie, you know what they say? Oh man, I was just trolling. But it's just lying. It's just lying. There you go, Malala. I don't have a physical form. Bet. But this, so they're out. But this is what I'm saying. But you have people who operate every day. They get on the internet just to see how many people they could stir up and deceive. And me, I'm like, no, let's have this convo. Let's have this conversation. Come tell me what's better. Come tell me why it's better. They can never do it. But if you're not careful, you'll get dragged into stupidity. You'll get dragged into it. Yeah, socialism is better. It's not, guys. It's not. There's China is a socialist country. There are people who will give their left arm to leave China and come to America. If socialism is better, and remember, China's stronger than America. So America can't do anything to hurt China. So why are Chinese people leaving China, attempting to come to America in droves? See? But these questions never get asked. That's why I don't even like to watch a lot of the mainstream media stuff, because the real questions never get asked. It's always like this thing where it's like, let's pretend to not see that this person is making stuff up for the sake of entertainment. And I like entertaining just as much as the next guy, but I rather entertain and get to the truth than entertain and just keep everything like an open conversation.
If the thought leaders in the Democratic Party keep encouraging and not rebuking the idea that America is cringe and the people who run Gaza are great, the Democrats are doomed.
Let's go. We got another one. Look, I'm going to paste the link in here again. 562 Guy LBC. I'm giving you the link. Click the link and come up. See, if I'm just repeating Fox News talking points, here's the comment. If I'm just repeating MAGA, this is what African American peoples call anybody who's too smart for them to have a conversation or debate with. If you're smarter than me, you're MAGA, you're a racist, you're regurgitating white supremacist talking points. That's what we boiled this down to. That's what we boiled this down to. Prove me wrong. Tell me where I'm lying. I will pay you $100 over Cash App today in front of my entire audience. Come up, click the link, easy $100. Tell me where I'm lying. That's it. Just please tell me where I'm lying. And you won't be able to. I have a friend, right? Literally, she met me for coffee because she was like, nah, the stuff you're saying, this is not true. We sat down. We talked, right? We talked. I said, okay, you got the internet. I got the internet, etc. Show me where I'm lying. Show me where I'm lying. We just knew each other over the internet. That's it. I'm gonna call her right now, as a matter of fact. Let's see what her thoughts were on me, since I'm lying about everything. And it always goes this way when you have people over the internet. You're lying. You're making this. I don't make up anything. I'm not going to lie to anybody. So when you come to this channel and you get information, you can count on it being true. And if the information happens to be wrong, guess what? I will come back and correct it. So when someone says, you're just regurgitating Fox News talking point, that's just BS. I'm just doing research, finding out the truth. Sometimes Fox News is telling the truth. Sometimes they're not. But the problem is you guys are watching CNN, MSNBC. Guys, these are entertainment shows. They're not news shows. Rachel Maddow is not a news show. The girl Abby Phillips, that's not a news show. That is a talk show like The View. It's an entertainment show. They are not obligated. They are not sworn to tell you the truth. They can say anything. And then they just say, well, this is just an entertainment show. Sean Hannity is an entertainment show. It's not a news show. I wouldn't tell you to believe anything he's saying unless you go research it. But a lot of people don't understand the difference. A lot of people don't understand the difference. Hey, did 562 guy click the link? You got 1 minute, and then you're just out of here. Because I don't like these people. I don't like people to get in my comments and just start making up lies. I give anyone the chance to come up here and refute what I'm saying and prove me absolutely wrong. There's a problem with the Democrat Party. Lifelong Democrats are telling you this, like Bill Maher, and he's going to continue to tell you it.
Alyssa Slotkin's right. Liberals are weak and woke, especially the white ones, and they indulge all sorts of nonsense from their kids, a pattern that then continues on in the Democratic Party. Last election, it was all the gender stuff, the insistence that men can have babies and such, and now I fear that we like the terrorists is the new that. Liberals need to push back on the dumb ideas that come from their children. The Democrats' problem is the energy of the parties with the young and the younger with the terrorists. That's not good.
And the younger with the terrorists for the same reason that the girl in high school dates the bad boy just to piss her dad off. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a bunch of white kids, and now some of them are adults, who are rebelling because they've been given a life of privilege. So they rebel so they can feel alive, so they could feel something, so they could feel like they're standing up for something. But the problem is you are falling in love with the local gang leader. And if we keep letting you do it, you're going to get the damn house shot up because he's over here and his rivals are looking for him. And when that happens, you know what you're going to say? I didn't know. If they even say that. If they even say that. A bunch of white kids acting tough, rubbing shoulders with terrorists to piss off their parents or whoever, and everybody else is going to have to pay the cost for it. Because, like I said a long time ago, people don't like this, but when I debated I Hypocrite on No Jumper, what did I say? I said, this is all white people's fault. Why is Bill Maher saying the same thing? Black people in America follow along. They go along to get along. Whatever white liberals say, they gonna follow it. It don't matter what they say. Black people went from being in a church ready to bust you in the head to the white meat show for saying you gay to being like, nah, now gay dudes is all up in the church running it. Because white folks told us to. Nobody wants to accept that. Nobody wants to acknowledge that. But Bill Maher is telling you. He literally just told you. We are woke. We are weak. And it's mostly because it's mostly a bunch of white people. And they will not discipline or correct their children. The same way when you were young and you would go to the store and the little white kid would be going the fuck off in the store, Terrence ripping stuff off the shelves, and the mama, Timmy, stop, please, don't do that. And you just sitting there like, my mom would have strangulated me if I came up in this store. doing that stuff. It's the same thing, just on a bigger scale. Don't tell, you want to know what's white supremacy? That's white supremacy. My kid is so much better than yours that I'm going to allow my kid to destroy the country that we all have to live in because they're so much better than you that even their bad ideas are 10 times better than your best ideas. But the reality is, a lot of these people are just so unremarkable, they have to go along with crazy radicalized crap just so they can feel like something is special about them. Back in the day, you had people like Jane Fonda. She wants to go to Vietnam and roll through the jungle with a bunch of terrorists. There have always been people like this, guys, who side with the enemy so that they could feel special. I don't know if you guys ever watched this movie with Kurt Russell called Escape from LA, where Snake Plissken. If you never watched it, go watch it right now. The president has this like machine where he could press a button and it could destroy any location on Earth, right? His daughter steals the machine, the device, and takes an escape pod from Air Force One down into LA, which at that point had become like a dystopian wasteland, and it had like been separated from the rest of America and made into an open air prison, right? So she basically is on like a virtual reality simulator, which somehow gets hacked by this really bad guy named Quevro Jones. She's in that simulator talking to him and nobody knows, right? He convinces her to steal that device and bring it to him in LA. Now a damn terrorist has the device that could destroy any place on Earth. Why? Because she thought he loved her. He gave her some bullshit lines about freedom and equality. She bought into it, took the thing and took it to him. 10 minutes into the movie, or 10 minutes after she arrived, she realized, hey, this guy is not who he said he is. And we are warning people right now, you need to slow your roll. Because as soon as Hamas gets into America, let's say Hamas takes over America. Let's just say all the gays, trans, and all these people who support them, they're dead. They're dead. Those dudes are going to start chopping heads off in the street, and they're going to start with the same people who were preaching and supporting them and waving their flag and talking about globalized intifada and all that stuff. Because they use you because you're driven by emotion, but nothing can be sustained on emotion. Emotional outbursts only work to destroy. They never work to build anything. That's why a lot of these people on the internet who are hyper emotional, they can't be married, they can't hold a job, they can't do anything because you cannot sustain anything based purely on emotion. It doesn't work like that. That's facts of life. That's facts of life. Let's keep playing this, then we're going to go to the next topic.
So talk to your children and remind them you don't really want to live like your heroes in Hamas. All the you do all day, it was all made in America. Your smartphone, your Grubhub, your freedom to about America, that's all American stuff. You tell your phone you want a milkshake and a guy brings it to your house. Please, you couldn't survive a week living in Intifadaville.
Yes, the most beautiful symbol of freedom. When the people of Hong Kong stood up to China, they waved the American flag. Why? Because it's not just a beautiful flag. It is a symbol of hope and liberty. Today's divide in America, sadly, is not just about taxes or policy. The left resents this country. They're willing to embrace regimes that hate women, Christians, basic freedoms, because they share one thing: a hatred for America. Don't ever apologize for being proud of this country. You have a moral duty to be proud.
What if the medicine that helped save millions during the pandemic is still being...
Man, I'm telling you straight up, people who come here from other countries, people who have been in countries that are oppressed, They literally understand. They're looking at Americans right now like, you guys are just silly. You're silly. You let somebody like Bernie Sanders tell you what to do politically. A guy who is Jewish, but supporting a dude who's an anti-Semite. Because for these people, powers is, I knew Bernie Sanders was nothing more than a power-hungry villain when the Democrat Party screwed him over, and he still went along with the Democrats with their lies and their anti-democratic, there's a fly here, and their anti-democratic swindling that they were doing when it came to the primaries. Bernie let the Democrat Party hoe him twice and was still down for the cause. So you think Bernie is going to teach you how to be free and how to stand up for yourself and stand up for your rights? No, the only thing Bernie could teach you is how to get hoed, because that's what happens to Bernie. And it looks like it's working. They're setting you up. Dang, that fly is annoying me. It's like they're setting you up for a big fall, but they understand when you get hurt, you usually lash out violently, and when you lash out violently, that benefits the Democrat Party. So they want you to feel pain, because when you feel pain, you're going to freak out. You're going to trip. And when you trip, you support them. Bernie got F harder than a streetwalker on the Vegas Strip, 1,000%. And kept pushing and kept rocking with the same people who screwed him over. It was really pathetic. But just understand, we're living in a very strange time, and in my opinion, it's getting more dangerous every day. And when I say dangerous, I don't necessarily mean like someone's going to kill you. What I'm saying is we just showed a political party that they can gain power by starving our children. We just showed a political party that they can gain power by starving our children. And the idea that you think they won't do that again and they won't continue to execute that strategy, because let me tell you something. The whole narrative was surrounding the illegal immigration and these people like going after towns, these illegal immigrants, and the protests and the riots that they were trying to spark due to the illegal immigration situation. That was not good optics for the Democrats. So they literally took your attention and dragged it to food stamps by saying, look, we're cool. We'll sit back and chill while your children starve. And we're not going to do a single thing about it unless the government says, hey, unless the government agrees to give more benefits to an illegal than an American citizen receives. That's why I keep on singing that song, that Eric Bellinger. Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. You might get it. And this is what you're telling everybody you want. This is what you're showing the Democrat Party that you're willing to support. And look, man, I'm telling you right now, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Okay, so let me get these super chats and we're going to the next sub segment. Sticks and Stones LA, shout out to the bro. Thank you, my brother, for the $5 holler, supporting the channel. We have a goal in the comments. We are looking for $5 super chats for this episode. And we are almost there. We have a membership and one $5 super chat and one $2 holla from my boy Life of Energia. Thank you for your political views. Keep going no matter what. I will keep going. Keep supporting no matter what, everyone. Don't be the odd man out who doesn't support. You funny. But yeah, so thank you all for contributing to the stream. Now we want to move over. We're gonna take a trip all the way back to New York, where multimillionaires are coping, I guess. They're coping with the recent victory of Zohran Mamdani in the New York mayoral election. And they're not happy. They are estimating that there has been a $100 million exodus of wealth from New York since the Mamdani victory. Literally one day after Mamdani won the mayoral seat of New York, they're saying that $100 million worth of wealth left New York. The CEO of JP Morgan Chase, he spoke out against Mamdani. He's saying that Mamdani is anti-capitalism. He's saying that Mamdani is a socialist. And it's bad when CNN,
the CEO,
is even covering this because, they're in the pocket of the Democrats all day. So the fact that they're being forced to tell the truth, in my opinion, is very eye-opening. Let's tap in.
The CEO of America's biggest bank, Jamie Dimon. We're here in Detroit, where JP Morgan has invested billions of dollars. And one of the key businesses that helped revitalize this one bankrupt city was banking. And the big question tonight is, what sort of relationship will big business, which is at the core of capitalism and at the core of New York City, what will they have with the new Democratic Socialist mayor, Zohran Mamdani? So I asked Jamie Dimon about his relationship with Mamdani. Here is our exclusive interview. So, Jamie, we're sitting here in a partially finished new office space in Detroit that you're building. Happens to be the day after a Democratic Socialist just won the mayoral office in the city of New York, which is home for you. Are you going to increase investment outside New York?
We're not going to make quick decisions about New York, not New York right now. New York has some great things going for it, as you know, like the human capital, the brain power, the financial industry. So it's a center for us. But my question, really saying is, New York has to compete. No city has divine right to success. There are great cities everywhere. We now have more people in Texas than we have in New York. That didn't have to be that way. And so, if I was any mayor of any city, I'd be thinking about, what do I need to do to build a great city to help all of my citizens? And, all the things that create, good competition.
You talk about more people in Texas. All right. Zohran Mamdani, recently in a conversation I had with him, he said something that I wanted to play for you. Here he is. Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
You had recently referred, Jamie, to his platform such that you understood it as Marxist, was a word you used at a recent conference. Now, I know you just built that skyscraper in New York, right? You're $3 billion in. You can't just walk away from that, even if you wanted to. You got 24,000 employees, I believe, in New York altogether. I guess this is a very basic question because, during this whole mayoral election, there was a lot of talk of this. Do you think any of those employees are actually going to get up and leave New York City because Zohran Mamdani is mayor?
So, first of all, people have left New York City. You've seen hedge funds and certain banks and Ken Griffin, and I think it's a bad idea. I mean, you want to have a very competitive city. And I don't want to use labels. The important thing to me is policies that actually work. Do you make crime better? Do you make the schools better? Do you make the health system better? I want to lift up all citizens, too. I've seen a lot of mayors and governors say things like that, and they fail to do it because their policies may not be so bad, but the implementation stinks. So to me is get this stuff right. Learn. He's a young man. Will he get good at it? I see a lot of people in big jobs, including political jobs. They grow into it. They're learning. They're trusting people. They're figuring it out. They'll make mistakes. They adjust. I've seen a lot of people. They kind of swell into the job. They get worse. It all becomes about them or something like that. I'm hoping he's the good one, and that will be important for the future of New York.
So he did talk about you specifically today. Actually, at his first press conference, our Gloria Pazmino asked him about you, and I will play for you what he said.
I look forward to meeting with Jamie Dimon and meeting with anyone who is concerned about the future of our city and is invested in the vitality of that same city. I think it is critically important that we start to embody a style of leadership that does not demand agreement across every single issue in order to even have a conversation.
You've been doing this job a long time, okay? But this is a new challenge, right? When he says, he wants a leadership that doesn't demand agreement across every single issue in order to have a conversation, that's one thing. But back to what he said a moment ago, can you agree to disagree on something as fundamental as capitalism?
Look, I don't know what he means by capitalism. And when I read a lot of people, they say that these flaws are capitalistic flaws. They're not. Public policy works. There's income problems in communist countries and socialist countries, and healthcare problems in communist countries. There are bad policies that cause those outcomes. It's not necessarily capitalism. So when you say, what is your goal? I want to lift up all citizens too.
Man, Jamie Dimon is one of the smartest human beings on earth. He's a person who makes money by being a realist. That's why it's always good to talk to people who are good at making money, because they just speak based on the bottom line. They're not here trying to manipulate you, hold on. Okay, so he's so rich, he really doesn't have to lie to you. I would trust someone like him over a politician, because Jamie Dimon is filthy rich. Nothing he says to you and nothing you can do to him is going to impact his wealth. So I listen to people. When people like him speak, I listen to them. And what did he say? There are problems everywhere, no matter the system of government. But what creates the problems is not capitalism, socialism, or any of that. It's the bad policies. China is a communist country, right? And we getting into history, so we know all the entertainment hogs. Oh, this is boring. China is a communist country. Under Mao Zedong, China hit rock bottom. 20 million people died from starvation under Mao Zedong and his big leap forward agenda. But when you look at China now, China is still communist, but it's working. It's prospering. Why? The policies. So one of the things Mao Zedong did was they were having a problem with locusts, right? Well, actually, they said that there was they were growing crops and there were these birds, these sparrows, right? And they would eat some food from the crops. So Mao Zedong ordered people in the fields in his country, hey, you need to kill as many sparrows as you can, because the sparrows eat our crops and that hurts our revenue from agriculture as a country. So he ordered the citizens of China to kill sparrows as many as they could. So they started doing it. They start killing all the sparrows. What Mao Zedong didn't understand, because he was an idiot, was that the sparrows were crucial to keeping the numbers of insects that also fed on those crops down. The sparrow might eat some of the crop, but they want meat, they want protein, they want insects. And they were eating billions of these insects that, if were allowed to grow unchecked, would destroy the crops. So when Mao Zedong killed all the sparrows, he stopped the nature's exterminator. He killed nature's exterminator. And the insects multiplied exponentially because they had no more predators. And they destroyed the crops in China. And that was so bad, it caused starvation. That led to the death of 20 million people. Xi Jinping would never do something so stupid. Both leaders of a communist country, but one had a bunch of stupid policies that led to millions of people getting killed, dying, and the other one implemented excellent policies, such as opening up trade with America, something that Mao Zedong did not want to do. Mao Zedong aligned with Russia. So when Russia went down, China went down. Xi Jinping and the people who followed Zedong, they aligned with America. So America went up, and guess what happened? China went up. And that is what Diamond is saying here. That's exactly what he's saying. Stop blaming capitalism. Stop blaming even socialism. Look at the policies that are being implemented by the idiots that you guys are electing into office. You can have a socialist president, but if he puts in great policies that bolster capitalism, guess what? You're going to benefit. And that's the thing with Zoran Mamdani. We live in a mixed economy already, so there's socialist elements to it no matter what. And there's also capitalistic elements that are a part of it as well. But when we look at Mamdani, it's just one bad policy after another. When the money starts leaving, when the billionaires start leaving and running away, you better be paying attention, because they don't gamble. They go based on what they know. That's why I'm worried about Mamdani.
You've talked about income inequality.
Right. Of course. I think we have a problem. I think we have not lifted up the bottom 20% of society because their schools aren't working. You know, we got to acknowledge that. How do you fix the schools? You got to acknowledge the problem. Their income didn't go up enough. I would double the earned income tax credit. Their crime is worse in those neighborhoods. So while they're being lectured to by other people, they're the ones who go to crime-ridden neighborhoods. Their schools don't teach them job skills. So yeah, we need to fix those things. Those things, in my opinion, are not Democrat. They're not Republican. They're not flaws of capitalism. They're not flaws of socialism. They are bad policy, badly executed.
Jamie Dimon sound like a presidential candidate right now. He knows he'll never get elected because, you know, people like, Morgan Chase is in the slave trade. He's literally telling you, common sense, your schools don't work. You live in crime-ridden neighborhoods because you let people tell you that defunding the police is a good idea. So the criminals run your neighborhood. And your kid goes to school and he can't focus because he got to watch out for the gangbangers if he don't get shot on the way walking home. Jamie Dimon is telling you, he didn't say the schools, he said their schools don't work. He's going to send his kids to a private school. That's going to work. The schools don't teach job skills. Let me show you this. The schools stopped teaching job skills like in the late 80s, early 90s. Then told you we need illegal immigrants to come in and do the jobs that Americans don't want. You're telling me that no American wants to be a licensed union carpenter making $50, $60, $70 an hour? You're telling me that no American wants to be a welder making $100 an hour, an underwater welder making $300, $400 an hour? You know who's doing those jobs? Immigrants are doing those jobs. Are they doing those jobs because Americans don't want those jobs? No, because we stopped training Americans on how to do those jobs. We used to train you in school for free. Now you got to give Wyotech $40,000 freaking dollars to learn how to work on a combustion engine. When they used to have Auto Shop, which was free to teach you how to do that. It's not that Americans don't want the jobs. Americans have, one, been incentivized to reject the jobs. And the Americans who might want the jobs have been totally handicapped. Because we have put the knowledge that is needed to perform the job, we've placed it behind a paywall now. The illegal immigrant, he does construction with his dad in Mexico. His dad's dad taught him for free. You come, you got to go pay Jaime at American Career College to learn how to put up a piece of drywall. I remember when I learned how to put drywall and do patching. I said, that's it? That's all that takes? Yep. There's people making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year patching and doing drywall. Every house or apartment I've ever had, I painted myself, right? I had a friend who taught me how to paint. Every time someone walks in my house, they'd be like, damn, bro, who did this paint? I'd be like, I painted it. They're like, this looks like a professional job. Because I learned how to paint. I learned about, your base coats and, your primers and all that stuff. What was the best quality paint to buy? How many coats you want to put over something, like if you're trying to change I painted my house. The walls were brown. I painted those walls white. Do you know how hard it is to turn brown walls white without it casting like this dark shadow? But I did it, and it was an immaculate job. That house looked like a museum when I was done with it. That's how white those walls were. But it's not that. But why did I have to wait until I was a grown man to learn how to properly paint? All you need is some buckets of paint and some primer and some paint rollers. That could be a class at your kid's high school. Pennies on the dollar. Your kid could get out of school and be a certified painter who knows how to go in, get a paint job done, and leave. Nah, them the jobs Americans don't want. What? I have a friend. I'm not going to say his business on here. Bro's making millions off of painting. He has his own painting company. I think he just bought his 12th truck. I think bro just bought his 12th truck. He met he got divorced and met his new wife, his little beautiful little Latina wife that he's about to marry. He divorced the ex-wife. He met his new wife when he was going in to buy a big ass Chevy Silverado truck for his company, cash money. But they're telling you that Americans don't want those jobs. What are you talking about? He told me, he said, man, look, I was just doing like paint jobs here and there, making good money, $100,000 a year, $100,000 a year. I said, but how did you get into the big bucks? He said, man, it was by luck. He was painting a apartment downtown Long Beach. The owner of the building, one of them big high rises, the owner of the building just so happened to be there. Came in, he got hired privately. Like the person who owned the condo hired him to paint. Somehow the owner of the building was passing by, saw the guy painting, asked the guy who owned the condo, hey, who you got doing your paint? He told him, introduced him. Yeah, this is my name. This is my company, whatever. The guy said, how would you like to paint every unit in this building? That's $1 million damn. A big ass high rise apartment, and you just got a contract to paint every single apartment in that building, the hallways, all that. And guess what happened? He did that whole apartment. Took him months, he said, to do that. He did the whole apartment, and whatever tenants wanted to get the inside painted, and he did all the hallways and all that. And that owner recommended him to another owner down there. And then that owner recommended him to another owner in LA. And then that owner recommended him to like 3 owners in Santa Monica of these big old buildings. Now that's what he do. But those are the jobs Americans don't want. No, those are the jobs that Americans have been incentivized to reject. Americans have been incentivized to look down upon. Hell, if things don't work out and I hit rock bottom, I might go work for bro. Because painting is not a hard job. It's not easy, but it's a very low stress job. But see, that's what Jamie Dimon is talking about. Put America back to work. Stop trying to make this a beggar society. Stop trying to make this a society that thinks the government is supposed to pay for everything for them. And that's one of the things that this guy, That's one of the things that this guy Zoran Mamdani said that really bothered me. There's no problem too big for government, too big or small for government to fix. What the hell are you talking about? Like Ronald Reagan said, government is the problem. See, you leave it to somebody like Zoran Mamdani, the government will be telling you what kind of tires you got to put on your car. It'll be like California, where they tell you what kind of gasoline you got to use. These people think that government, they say no kings, right? And then they elect people who want to rule like kings, where government is all powerful and the individual has no say or autonomy. It's always the opposite with these people. Let me get this super chat. Thank you, Buddy Eddie, 5814. If we're being honest, Xi Jinping didn't get it right either. Look into any opposing views to the party. Jailed. Evergrande and Tofu Dregs. Look, but see what you're saying? If we're being honest, Xi Jinping didn't get it right either. No, if you live in a communist country, most communist countries, the opposition is eradicated. But why I would say Xi Jinping did get it right is this. He got rid of all opposition so you don't have situations like what's going on right now with the filibuster in Washington, where people are damn near about to starve because the Democrats want to use their starvation as leverage to get one over on the Republicans. And I'm not saying the Republicans are all good. They have their flaws. I really don't think the Republicans truly support Donald Trump. I believe that they just tolerate him. But I know the Republicans are not saying, well, if you don't give us this, we're going to stop SNAP benefits and hold out for 40 to 50 days while people don't know what they're going to eat. This is the longest government shutdown in history being caused by the Democrat Party. That alone should tell you something. We are in uncharted territory right now. I'm just letting you guys all know that. But I get what you're saying, Buddy Eddie, and you are right. There should be a healthy opposition. But bro, I am quickly losing faith in this democracy stuff. I like the idea of a republic. I like the idea of a representative government, but that ain't necessarily democracy. Democracy is like all the dummies get to vote. Oh, the Latinos come across 50 million. Let's make them all citizens. Now they get to control everything that's happening. That's what democracy does for you. Now, another nation could control America based on the laws of democracy. Because that's basically what they tried to do. Let's let 20 million people across the border. We distribute those people across 5-6 states. Now red states are turning into blue states. Democrat Party has an unbeatable majority in this country. Let's give them a bunch of free stuff, turn them into lifelong Democrats. We're screwed. There has to be something. Oh, Bud Yeti, my bad. Bud Yeti. But there has to be something done. That's why I feel voter ID has to be passed. Voter ID, if voter ID does not get passed, America is doomed. I'm telling you right now, there were illegal immigrants voting in California's elections. The Prop 50 stuff, there were illegal immigrants voting in California elections. There literally were politicians leading people who didn't even speak English, Chinese people, Hispanics, all that, leading them to the polls and telling them who to vote for. And one of the reporters speaks Chinese, and she went up to one of the people and asked them, do you know what you're voting for? And the person told her, no. They just told me to vote for this person. They told me to vote yes on Prop 50. Voter ID has to be passed. It has to be. Or we won't even have a country. Okay, let my guys up here to give their comments, but don't leave because we still have to talk about Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion. They are two lovers who seem to be living in marital bliss right now because we saw a video that was released today of Klay Thompson absolutely simping out because he went to the airport late to pick up Meg the Stallion. But I think Clay is onto something, so I'm not mad at his decision to wife up that 304. And I'll tell you after we let the bros comment on this stuff. What up, P Sizzle in the building?
Hey, Brandon. Yeah, I just wanted to add some commentary on China. So basically with China, as successful as Xi Jinping is, at the same time, like during Biden's administration, there were like a lot of military-aged men that were brought in over the border from Mexico. That just comes to show you like how much income inequality, wealth redistribution that just doesn't exist in China. Like they don't even have opportunities in their mainland, so they're shipping people overseas as illegal immigrants to add on to our existing burden with illegal Mexicans and illegal South Americans that come in already. So yeah, I fully agree with the super chat where he was saying about opposition control, the Evergrande mortgage crisis that they had to bail out apartment builders and construction builders in China. But yeah, I think I agree with you for the most part what you said on China. And even coming to Zoran and Democrats, like if you looked at what happened today in Congress, Chuck Schumer basically said, hey, I'm not going to pay government workers. I'm not going to pay for the SNAP benefits or whatever else is in the bill, in the CR bill, if you guys don't extend Obamacare for one more year. So what the Democrats are so down bad that they're holding over Obamacare on top of all Americans instead of just reopening the government. And they'll do anything in their power to put this blame on Trump. And I also agree with you when you were saying, hey, the Republicans are just tolerating Trump, because I think one of the biggest missteps Trump actually did do was with the tariffs. Because if he had just went to Mike Johnson, Senator Thune, and just discussed what his tariff policy was going to be ahead of time, then we wouldn't be in like the dilemma that we're in right now with the Supreme Court case. And I think that's the angle that I hope Republicans fix in the coming 2-3 years, especially with 2026 midterms coming and next November. Like I just feel like the Congress needs to start working with Trump more and play a more active presence in his administration, or else like this longest ever government shutdown is just gonna get worse and worse. But yeah, like that's my commentary basically, and you already know how I feel about Zoran.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to say to that whole situation is this: like, if you look at Obamacare, right? They said Obamacare was the answer to all of our healthcare problems, right? So if Obamacare was supposed to provide low-cost healthcare to everybody because we forced Americans to buy. Now, mind you, if you don't know about this, this was the biggest act of communism or what's it called? Fascism. That's the word they love using. They love using the word fascism. But what they don't want to tell you is that Obamacare was one of the greatest examples of fascism in the 21st century ever. What are we in the 21st century? 21st century.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. It was one of the greatest examples of fascism in the 21st century, where your president forced you to buy health care from one of the healthcare syndicates. And if you didn't, now let me tell you this. Hillary, she didn't get elected because she wanted to throw you in jail if you didn't buy health care. She literally said, if you don't buy health care, we're going to put you in jail. Obama walked it back and said, we will just penalize you on your taxes, right? So this was some straight socialist shit. You don't buy from these companies. I mean, this was some straight fascism. You don't buy from these companies that we're telling you to buy from, you're going to jail, period. And then they walked it back. But here's my thing. This was the answer to our healthcare problems. That's what they said, right? The act is literally called the Affordable Care Act, right? So why did the Affordable Care become so unaffordable? To the point where the Democrats had to vote for subsidies. You know what subsidies are? Where you get something free. They had to vote for subsidies to help people keep their Obamacare plans. So the Affordable Care Act became so unaffordable that the government had to pay the bill for the people in America.
It's all like systemically like oppressing
It's
like the people that already have private insurance, because like you first start out with Obamacare. The expenditure for Obamacare, I just looked up online, it's like $82 billion a year from the taxpayer. There's no
yes,
substitutes for private insurance. Like you're saying, like they only approve a certain list of insurance carriers that you have to go with if you're on a
yes.
plan. And while he was in office, he also did the whole DACA thing as well, because it's like a systemic plan to go from being on Obamacare to enabling DACA folks to get on Obamacare, and then ultimately getting those folks, the children of these
Citizenship.
immigrants, as citizens. And that's the
Yes.
grand plan that they've had since like the early 2000s.
It's
So
all a scam. It's all a scheme. And people don't understand that. And so they're like, well, Trump doesn't have a plan. Listen, no plan is better than Obamacare. Because at least if they take away Obamacare, now it becomes a free market again. And now the companies are incentivized to compete, to give competitive pricing. Because their money is not guaranteed by the federal government. Think about that. The store across, listen, if two stores are across the street from each other, right? And I say, I'm the mayor of a town, and I say everybody on this side got to buy from this store, and everybody on this side got to buy from this store. If you on this side, you can't buy from that store. If you're on that side, you can't buy from this store, right? Those stores have no reason to lower their prices. Their consumer base is guaranteed. Now, if I take away that totalitarian fascist order, now the store across the street could say they selling eggs for $2 a dozen. If I sell the eggs for $1.90 a dozen, everybody who buying those $2 a dozen eggs over there will come over here and buy those eggs. They come over here, now bro across the street say, well, I'm gonna lower my eggs to $1.50. Now they coming back over there. You know who benefits from that? The consumer. They're getting $1.50. They're paying $1.50 for a dozen eggs. Obama destroyed the competitive aspect of healthcare. So it was inevitable that the price for healthcare was going to skyrocket. And instead of acknowledging it, abolishing Obamacare, right? They try to argue and say, well, if we get rid of Obamacare, that'll raise the health costs for millions of Americans. Well, of course it will. Because right now, they don't have health costs because the government is paying for the health care. So yeah, if you abolish Obamacare, yeah, they might have to actually pay out of their pocket a couple $100 a month, but the price will go down. Versus what you're doing right now, which is constantly raising the price, which means you're raising taxes indirectly on the American citizen. Am I wrong here?
no, like perfectly accurate. And even if you want to like explore what Zoran wants to do with your grocery store example, he wants to make the minimum wage like $30 an hour, and he wants to cut the prices on grocery vegetables as well. If that happens, what you're going to end up seeing is all these bodega stores in New York, all these grocery store owners
Going out of business.
They're going to go out of business, sell out immediately.
Pretty soon, these socialists are going to start having a mandatory employment where they start forcing these businesses to hire employees. That like they do that in socialist countries. They'll force businesses to hire employees. You have to have 5 people working here, and you got to pay them this much. But 100%, it's all going to be inflationary.
And I'll say, like, I love the angle that Trump is going in, because he's trying to reduce the generic cost of medicine. Yesterday, he had Dr. Oz on to give out a speech about lowering the cost of Ozempic, Wegovy, all those weight loss drugs from like $300 to $500 down to like $100, $150 with federal subsidies. I personally feel like going that direction of actually lowering drug input costs and lowering the cost of providing medical services, that's the right way to go, especially in our capitalist society. We should not go on the angle of like where England is, where England has like all free healthcare to everybody. But when you actually go look at the quality of service, it's horrible.
It's trash.
Yeah.
It's trash. You're dying.
Canada's the same way.
Oh, 100%. Let's get Adcha, then you, LA Thorn. Go ahead, Adcha. Thank you for coming up, Pieces. I appreciate you.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Go ahead, bro.
I think I'm banned in the chat still, man.
Man,
Hey.
go, man. Tell me what you
Hey,
drop your
Brandon,
point.
you gotta you got to bring me up, man, more often, man, so I can sharpen up your skills, man. The Pagan with the Destiny thing, they just dropped that debate you had again. I just watched it today, and I'm like, man, my boy Brandon, man, you getting cooked, bro. You got to sharpen up your skills, bro.
Okay, tell me where he cooked me.
Because how is even what you're just talking about?
Tell me where he cooked me. You brought up Destiny debate. Tell me where he cooked me. Listen, you said I got cooked. Give me one example of where Destiny cooked me.
Now you read the.
Nigga's gone. All right, go ahead, LA Thorn.
Yeah, I was going to add about Canadian healthcare. They've like paid millions of dollars, to their tax, like taking millions of dollars from their taxpayers to assist you in suicide with MAID. You know what I'm saying, which is medical assistance in dying, and they've done that to kids, veterans, and all that. But what I want to add with the Supreme Court is that they're going to be looking at a couple key cases. One is the Voting Rights Act of 1960, I think it was 1965. The Democrats have exploited racial gerrymandering to basically make them relevant, make them have power. Because if you look at a lot of these districts and a lot of these borders and all that, it's construed in such a way that they use like racial demographics to say like, oh, this area is Democrat, the rest of it's like Republican or whatever. And the other.
You just cut out. I don't know why, but you just cut out.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that. What they did with California is a prime example. With Prop 50, they decided to, the voters decided to basically not give Republicans any kind of representation at all. And the Supreme Court is going to be hearing arguments about the same kind of thing. And this is going to be on racial lines. But
100%. 100%. I was watching that last night about they're playing the race card. They're saying it is racial discrimination what they did with the maps because Mexicans or Hispanics are the majority, and
right.
They are basically taking voting power away from the minority, which would be blacks and whites in California.
And another thing is that they're going to be looking at a little-known law called Humphrey's Executor, which basically is allowing like unelected bureaucrats to actually control a lot of the regulations that Congress doesn't have any real say in. And
Right.
Trump could theoretically fire them, but because of this law that was passed that they're going to be looking at in 2026, it's decide if they decide to rule against Humphrey's executor and get rid of it, then Trump is going to be able to fire a whole bunch of people, and a whole bunch of people are going to get freaking mad, man. Already.
Hey man, listen, it's a lot of funny business going on. I really was paying attention to that situation with the racism stuff. Hold on. It's basically looking like that Prop 50 is going to get overturned. That's what it's looking like. If they stick to the Constitution and to all the amendments and stuff, if they stick to it, it's going to get overturned. Because how do you gerrymander an electoral map to benefit one race of people?
Not only one race, but like one party. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like in California as an example, still like 40-something% of the electorate, voted Republican, but they have no seats. You know what I'm saying? Like 40% is not an insignificant number. Like if you have like a group of 100 people and 40 of them want tacos, and the rest of them want burgers and pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to ignore the people who want tacos? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, and you don't see it, there were some Hispanics. I'll give them credit. There were some Hispanics in California who were saying, "Hey, this is unconstitutional." But you have the majority of Hispanics who were like, "Yeah, give us more voting power." I think that a lot of Hispanic people don't really understand this whole concept of like equality and fairness. Like, hold on real quick. I have a friend who is living in Canada right now, and I wanted to ask her about how great Canada is. So, Lois, we are on my live stream right now, and we got some people talking about Canada because New York City has elected a socialist mayor who wants to make America more like Canada. You've come from Kenya to Canada, right? So far, being in this beautiful socialist mecca where everything is free and all that, would you say it's living up to the hype that you see on social media?
No. I mean, not to my expectations, I guess, but I don't think I've seen all that there is to it, so I'm giving it more time. I've only been here for like a year, so.
So you've been there for a year, and they haven't given you like a bag full of money yet?
No, still hustling.
They didn't give you like a free house? Hey, here's the keys to your new condo. Like, because this is the way they market it. You got people in America saying, well, we need to be more like Canada. Is that like ideal? Would you say like things are way easier there?
That's a lie. That's not easy at all.
It's a lie. You're saying it's a lie.
Yeah.
Okay. You sound like you just got depressed. I'm making you think about the hardships of Canada. You need to come over to America. Don't worry. We're going to get you over here. The land of milk and honey.
Do you want to speak to a Canadian?
I can speak.
No, who is this, bro?
Look.
Canada's in a recession. Canada's in a recession, homie. I'm trying to move too.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. I got a Canadian on the phone. If you got to pick where you wanted to live, America or Canada, permanent residency, which one would you pick?
Yo, I'm trying to move to Texas, bro. Born and raised in Ontario, Canada, trying to move to Texas.
Right. Okay. See, so now we know the truth.
There it is, bro. We're in a recession here, and like you can't do what you want.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
You can do what you want, but it's not as easy as you think.
All right. Thank you so much. Y'all enjoy y'all time. I'll talk to you later, Lois. Bye. Dude, listen, I don't know if you guys can hear. Look, here we go. Brandon, we're not doing much better. Bro, you don't know what it is to do bad. That's the problem with America. Everybody thinks they know what it means to be from the bottom. You ain't even been to the bottom. You think growing up in the projects is being in the bottom? No, bro. Go to the slums of freaking Nigeria. That's the bottom. Go to the Mississippi Delta region. That's the bottom. But I'm telling you, people in Canada are like, F that. I want to move to Texas.
Shit, Brandon. There's movements in Alberta and I think Saskatchewan that are seriously considering and making preparations for like a referendum to actually freaking break away from Canada because Quebec is basically taking advantage of them. Like basically Alberta is like it's like Texas contributing like over 50% of the freaking money that they're getting, that the Canadian government's getting. And what they get for it is jack and shit, or very little. So, the referendum is like coming like next year. So
it's just garbage, man. America is. We just talked to two people in Canada. One an immigrant into Canada on a student visa. The other one is a born and raised Canadian. He's like, bro, I'm trying to move to Texas. You can't do what you want, and we're in a recession. We're in a recession. America is at this point thriving right now. I see people talking about 1 million jobs lost, bro. There's 7 million jobs available. Our stock market is booming right now. It's booming right now. Might be hurt a bit by the government shutdown, but during a shutdown, America's stock market is booming. And that's one of the things I think and that's one of the reasons I think they're really doing the shutdown shit, because they want to hurt the prosperity. Because America's doing a little too well under Trump, and they're like, we got to do anything to kind of introduce some uncertainty into the equation to like make, the investors worry or doubt. Right there. See, you're going by what you're hearing on the internet. I'm going by what people are literally telling me who are dwelling in that place. And a lot of these idiots out here are like, yeah, we need to make America more like Canada. What? Canada is a dependent state. They depend on America. Without America, Canada would die. It would go bankrupt. They would not be able to survive. And
Shit,
we need to make
Alberta.
America like, right. We need to make America like that. Dependent. So people could do whatever they want with it. It's just absolutely asinine. Final thoughts, LA Thorne?
I was gonna add like shit, without Alberta, Canada's fucking finished, man. Like that's that's like taking that's like taking the gas tank out of a car. Like you ain't gonna go very far without gas, man. Even if you have an engine, But
yeah, but this is but this is what you got, a bunch of wokies. They've never been to these places, don't know what's going on in these places truly, but they know that we need to make America like these places.
And another thing is that Canada, like a lot of the grocery stores in Canada, they're owned by a monopoly. Like it's just one company that owns just multiple companies. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing with with the television and cell phone carriers and all that. And even though we have like several carriers here, in North America, in the United States, like Sprint, T-Mobile, and all that, that's what capitalism does. Like it has various ways of competing, and like you were saying before, if we open up competition, everyone wins because someone's saying like, hey, I'll sell my stuff for 50 cents less than the other guy. And what I'm saying, like, word of mouth spreads like that. Some people, some people will trade, cost for quality, and they're like, okay, well, yours is cheaper, but I'll go with the expensive one. At least I know that the job is going to get done to a certain standard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so there's always trade-offs.
100%. The biggest thing, there's options. There's options. Yeah. It's not you got to buy Obamacare or else. That's the beauty of America. That's freedom. I could say, look, I'd rather just bet on my immune system, dude, because I don't got the money right now.
And the thing about it is that, like, what people in these blue states like New York and New York, New Jersey, they say like, oh, we're gonna raise taxes on the rich. And like, well, the rich have options. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can go anywhere they can afford to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they want to move their entire operation offshore and they have the money and resources to do that, they can do that. And you're stuck with now paying whatever taxes that you're trying to impose on them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that people don't seem to realize with the income tax too, man. Like, that was initially for the rich. Now everyone, regardless of your income bracket, pretty much pays it.
Yeah, 100%. And you saw the crazy girl. She was like, hey, if the rich leave, let's just tax everybody else. This is how they do, man. This is how they do. They're not even thinking about what could happen. They're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking about the long term. They're literally just like, hey, this is my path to get free stuff, and I don't care who I got to step on to get there. That's all it's about. It's the epitome of selfishness. But this is from the people who claim that they care about everybody. These are the people who claim they care about everybody. No, you don't. You only care about you. You only care about you. And if you have to pretend to care about others to get what you want, you'll do it. And that's what it is. It's all a shell game. It's all a grift. It's all a con. And we're not falling for it anymore. But thank you so much, LA Thorne. I appreciate you coming up, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Now we got to talk about our guy, Dallas Mavericks legend, Klay Thompson, who has been involved in a very public relationship with Meg the Stallion, the rapper, the one who got on stage and was twerking her butt cheeks for Kamala Harris in front of old people, old Democrat voters. Recently, Klay Thompson is in the news because he just cashed out on his girl. He flew Meg the Stallion in a private jet. He goes all out. I think this is her. I don't know if this was for her birthday or what, but he went to the airport to pick her up and he was late and he was very apologetic, but he showed up with flowers and the works. And I don't really cover celebrity stuff, but there are people who do, and I'm willing to poach their content. She got some big ass hands.
Bro, this for my boo. I'm sorry I was late, babe. Damn it. I'm sorry. I thought I timed it well. Sorry. There's no excuse.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Man, we're trying to steal my little skin regimen. Don't be trying to steal my skin regimen.
What?
That player. You ain't got that brush like this here.
Hottie Ween is going down. Right, Ferris?
Yeah. They gonna need the money. Everybody gonna need the money.
I don't be knowing where the hell I'm at half the time. And she been a plug. Every time I see you, the balls get bigger and bigger. Oh, God.
Good job today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so basically Klay is flying her all over the place in a private jet. I don't know if she's performing or what, but that's neither here nor there. The reason why I'm covering this is because I believe Klay Thompson is one of the most intelligent players to ever play in the NBA. And his choice of Meg the Stallion as his girlfriend and potential wife, because it looked like they're going to get married, look like they're all madly in love. You know her, she's in love with the money, but he's in love with what? He's in love with that Gawk 5000, right? And that hip motion. But I love what Klay Thompson is doing here because I see so many NBA players, right? Bro's 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", and he's trying to find the smallest Latina or Asian he could find to marry, right? I don't know if bro wants to feel like King Dingling in the bedroom. He want to flip her around and, body slam her or what. But Klay Thompson, he's going for the big dog. Meg the Stallion is 6 feet. She like 5'10", 5'11". Klay Thompson have kids with her, they're guaranteed to go to the league, bro. whether it's the NBA or the NFL. He's about to have some behemoths. Okay? If that girl let him put a baby in her, and she's not like she don't got a bunch of kids. I don't think Meg Thee Stallion got no kids. She ain't let all these dudes taint her DNA with their inferior semen. She gonna push out some monsters for bro. She's already tall. She's thick as hell, so that means she got muscle. She got a lot of, like, her muscle tone and her muscle structure is there, right? Clay 6'6", she 5'11", 6 feet. Bro, mess around and get him a 7-footer. If the DNA soup does what it's supposed to do. I really appreciate what Klay Thompson is doing here. He's doing what so many NBA players and NFL players have failed to do. I know dudes who went to the NFL and they're out the NFL now. And they didn't marry little Ling Ling, 4'10", and then want to cry because their kid can't make the damn basketball team. Bro, the kid never had a chance. You didn't give him a chance. You sabotaged, bro, from the jump. And now you mad because bro is forced to work with the DNA that you gave him. I cannot stand that. You are a physical specimen. Your lady is a midget from a third world bomb shelter. And you're going to give your kid that DNA and be like, yeah, but you're supposed to go out here and do great things. Pisses me off. Pisses me off. I know Meg got heels, but you got to think Klay 6'6". So with her heels, she's right up there. She's over his shoulder. Right? But that's good height for a female. That's great height for a female. If I'm 5'10", my daughter mama 5'5", and my daughter like 5'10", probably more like 5'11", we did what we had to do. Mama a little bit tall, daddy ain't short. She went up in height. It helps for a volleyball player, right? So if she's 6 feet, 5'11", 6 feet, bro 6'6", doing the math, bro gonna give him at least a 6. His son gonna be minimum 6'6". Probably gonna get his son probably gonna go up there to like 6'10". I mean 6'8", 6'9". If he lucky, 6'10". I just love this move that he did. And Klay is spoiling Megan. It don't matter whether she's a gold digger or what. Klay knows exactly what the hell he's doing. Klay is spoiling Meg because he want that DNA. He want that DNA. He introduced an African back into the DNA, and he's keeping the height in the family. He want that DNA. And yeah, she real fine. She look even finer. I like the fact that she lost a little bit of weight. She's looking good. It don't matter about life of Energia. Like don't mean nothing. She want the money. He want the honey. And when I say honey, I mean he want the genetics. He want that DNA. That's the way you're supposed to marry, black men. Give your kids the best chance they can have. Life of Energia, stop. This don't sound off. This makes perfect sense. This makes perfect sense. Yeah, he wants those gyrating ass cheeks he sees on Insta. But if bro put a baby in Meg, that's why he being all super nice to her. He gonna put a baby in that thing. I'm calling it next year, Meg Thee Stallion, Klay Thompson, baby on the way. Either they're getting married or there's a baby on the way, or both. This guy is smart. Klay is playing chess. He playing 3D chess while everybody else playing checkers. Bro is incredibly smart. He knows his career. Klay got about 2, maybe 3 years in the league, if that. He's finding him a woman. He's settling down. Probably gonna get him a cool little coaching job. Pump like 3-4 babies up in her. Push out those monsters, those specimens. Coach his kids, and we'll see Klay Thompson Jr. in the league. Let's go, Master Lee, my brother. Good to have you up here.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing me on. Now that's guaranteed, bro. What you talking about is guaranteed for sure. He's gonna definitely. You could put some money on that. He's definitely gonna make sure, like, the height. Like, what is that? Who did that? LeVar Ball. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? It happens, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got a brother. He's married to an ex WNBA player. He tall as shit. She tall as shit. I'm pretty sure they gonna have his hooping. You know what I mean? It just happens like that. So shout out to Klay Thompson for sure.
Man, shout out to bro. Kudos to bro. Bro know what he doing. He ain't slick. And she fine too. But he got him. Look, man, I think all people should factor in genetics when picking a mate. Like I see people with, like, daddy got bad vision. Mama got bad vision. Kids damn near blind. Coke bottle glasses, bro.
Yeah,
why didn't nobody think about that when they was deciding to have a baby?
No, for
like,
sure. Now that's a big part of it. I mean, I think, I guess that's like also too, the older you get, you start to think a little bit that way. So
yeah,
I think that also goes back into being older and wanting to make smart choices and smart investments into your future and into your kids' future. You know what I mean? So, like, getting with a woman like that is only investing into your kids' future. So they should reward you and thank you for that at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Daddy. I could dunk a basketball when I'm only 9 years old or 10. Thank you for all his height.
You see how Steph Curry turned out? Like, some kids are just born to be ahead of the curve. And that's how the parents operate, like LeVar Ball. He got with that super, super tall lady. But that's because he like, yo, my kids is gonna be in the league, bro. Like, they gonna do what I want them to do, and they're gonna be the best at it. So it's important to pay attention to, like, genetics and all of that, because a lot of people like be with people for the looks and all of that. And shout outs to Meg, because she for sure got the looks, but it's a little deeper than that too. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, you want to have a son, you want to running back, go get you a Yaba Beth, man. Y'all don't know who Yaba Beth is.
Hey,
but this chick right here, I'm gonna show y'all. Let me see. This chick right here. You want a running back? You want your son to rush for 2,000 yards? Go get you something like this.
Who the hell is that?
This is a chick on Instagram named Yaba Beth.
Oh.
She but you see them thighs and stuff? She gonna push you out a monster, bro. She gonna push you out a monster.
Like a running back.
Oh, 100%.
She look like one of them ones that be wearing the lingerie and be whooping shit.
Bro, she's gonna and those cheeks are all natural. She's gonna push you out a running back.
Yeah, nah, you gonna be right there.
Your son is rushing for at minimum 1,500 yards a season.
Hey, yo, question, like a little bit off topic. Well, really, pretty much. But I'm gonna just ask quick. What do you think? Have you been seeing Sneeko shit back on YouTube?
I don't really be watching Sneeko like that.
Oh, for sure. All right, for sure.
I need to check it out because they let him back on YouTube, right?
Yeah. You remember I had told you. I came on here and told you, like, nah, bro, back on there. But
you sure did.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm happy as shit. Like, I need some good shit to watch because I live in GA now. I live in Georgia now, but I'm from New Jersey. So it's good to see him, like, posting content and just walking around, like, talking to people about the Mamdani and all of that shit. So it's really dope. And also, I want to give a take on that, too. Like, I'm from up there. So, like, I grew up with mad Indian people. And it's dope to see Indian representation. It definitely is. So might get a little bit more, a little more funkier, but you gotta love the funk. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, for real. Hey. For real. Yeah, I don't know to people. I don't know if Yaba Beth has a sport that she plays, but I'm telling you, genetically, she's a monster. She, like, athleticism is something that like most black people are born with, but like she looks athletic,
I was about to say,
but
they
you're
said
going to
Krishan
introduce the athleticism into
they
the
said
genes.
Krishan Rock was a monster too.
Yeah, I heard she ran track.
Yeah, I was about to say they said she was an athletic warrior for sure. So yeah, some people they some people got the gift of gab for sure. It shows. It shows in the books.
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like Azazel, or sorry, I mispronounced you, but bro, I've been to Yaba Beth. She's been on Instagram for years, but there are plenty of women like this walking around. Of course, dude. What the hell you mean?
Yeah, it's a lot of those. It's a whole
Come
lot.
on, bro.
That's why when you pulled it up, I thought that was Meg for a minute.
Right. There's listen, man. It's women all over giving body, bro. Like I see some of the stuff these dudes is walking around with, and I be like, bro, it's that hard out here. Like, there's cuties walking around everywhere.
It for sure could be. A lot of people say that about who I'm with. They'd be like, yo, I was just talking to the homie. They're like, yo, I'm like, no, my chick, she she's a little slender. She remind me of like a Victoria's Secret model. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
being black and like wanting something thick and all of that, like, I think that's just programming. Honestly, I just want, you know what I'm saying? I just want a really decent woman at the end of the day. So I feel a lot of body out there. It's a lot of body out there. But
yeah, for sure.
But I'm in Georgia though. So when I was in Jersey, I grew up, like I just told the homie, I had an Egyptian girlfriend in the 5th grade, and she had big lips. She was like, she was fair skin. She looked Arab, you know what I'm saying? So but she looked like a sister, you know what I'm saying? In the sense. So it's like, bro, I got really, really good taste. But where I'm at is proximity. So where I was born at, I was growing up with all types of every ethnicity. But here in Georgia, it's just like a handful. So with me being with a white girl right now, everybody's like, "Oh, we knew you was gonna be with a white girl." I'm like,
I mean, but you in Georgia, bro. So you didn't have black girls all around you all your life.
Yeah, and a lot of them, they really Lilis. You said you don't rock with Sneeko like that, but for people that
I'm gonna check him out. I don't know his content. I know who he is, but around the time I came on the YouTube, he was getting banned off YouTube.
Exactly. Why best content now? He back. He's showing the people like, yo, the work speaks for itself. He's doing like some really good work. So he's picking good spots to shoot in. He got good backgrounds, all types of shit.
What is he? Is he doing like IRL streaming?
Yeah, he's what he doing? He doing pre-records, and he's just outside. He just outside doing like his street talks. He's just walking around, just talking to random people running into him like, oh shit, Sneeko. And they like, they give their opinion on him, or he asks them a question about, what's up, what you think about Mamdani winning, shit like that. But the visuals he putting out, I'm a photographer, so the visuals that he putting out is like super grandiose, and it's just like, nah, dude definitely, he won for the books for sure. He won for the books.
Okay. Yeah, he got it. Okay, so he got one about Zoran. Okay, so yeah.
But I wanted to make a point too about the Georgia girls. Like a lot of them is Lilis. And if you fuck with Sneeko, you know what the Lilis is. The Lilis is the thick, the super long eyelash black girls. You know what I'm saying? Like Shaniqua or Shanae. Not saying all of them, but like just in my proximity, that's kind of the only ones I really get to see where I'm at in Georgia. So it's like people be like, no, it's all types of bad girls. It's all types of beautiful women, all that. But it's like, bro, I'm not trying to like deal with the Lilis. I keep just coming across Lilis, so I feel like I made a smart choice for me personally. Now we have a son, we have a kid, and that's the best thing that has ever happened to me. So a lot of people are like, yo, you were a white girl? That's crazy. It's like, bro, I had all types of white girls before I came to Georgia, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, but but down here they like to talk about race all the time, and I'm like, yo, they got a magnetic field over Georgia, bro, because we don't talk about race in Jersey. Everybody's there. Nobody gives a damn about that shit. But here it's like such a deal. So yeah, it is what it is. But shout outs to the good people of Georgia though, for sure.
Okay. Well, hey, thank you, brother, for coming up. I'll holla at you.
Definitely. Peace.
Did I catch CGA? Who is Coach Greg Adams, yeah, he got destroyed, bro. I saw that. He got smoked. And Greg Adams from Long Beach, too. Bro, Coach Greg got cooked, bro. He didn't have nothing to offer. You can't tell me about black people because I'm black. You got to come stronger than that, bro. But to his credit, he was given he was on the bad side of the argument. See, sometimes like that's what is crazy about that's what's crazy about these days. You got people who will argue losing positions. And then when they lose, they'll be shocked that they lost the argument. It's like, bro, you should have known not even to argue that. But the internet instills people with false confidence. I don't know, but hopefully they'll learn. But guys, how is the visual? Do me a favor before y'all leave. When you look at this, let me look at it myself right here. Because I want to make sure this is I don't know why this is not working, but oh yeah, this looks good. The lighting is good. I just want to make sure the lighting and everything was good. Yeah, camera quality is good. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so guys, starting next week, let me tell you guys the schedule. We're going to post at 8 a.m., 12 p.m., and 4 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, live show, Defiant Brandon live show. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 p.m. Do y'all think I should do it earlier? Real quick, whoever's in here is going to get to choose. Do you think I should do the Defiant Brandon show earlier? Catch y'all while y'all at work so y'all have a little something to listen to? Or do you think I should do it like at 4 or like 6, like after y'all arrived at home? Let me know. What do you think is best? Cause I'm thinking, Jacote, what's up? Shout out to you. Yeah, Eastern. That's what I'm thinking about, the Eastern time. I'm thinking about the Eastern time because I'm gonna stick to this schedule because I'm talking to my guys and they're like, if you want to grow the live stream, you got to go at the same time every week. And so I'm gonna start doing that. So, oh yeah. So think of PST. I'm in Cali, right? So, it's PST. So if I go at 3 here, it'll be 7 in New York. If I go at 12 here, it'll be 4 in New York. I believe I could actually do 12. I could really do any time. Nah, Greg Adams didn't cook him G Money. Greg Adams was arguing a good point, but he was more retreating back into like, you can't tell me because I'm black. But we can agree to disagree. How you been doing, G Money NYC? In the billing. 4 would be Western PST, Pacific Standard Time. So if y'all on the East Coast, it would be like 4 p.m., 7 p.m., or 10 p.m. I'm just trying to get a sweet spot. I'm really leaning towards like maybe, because I know No Jumper does like 12, but I don't think we're going to share the same audience. I see the No Jumper audience is starting to leave. So I pretty much have a new audience. I got some of my day ones in here. Some of my day ones are coming back, but I'm pretty much realizing like I'm kind of dealing with a new audience, and that's okay. We can grow this audience because I'm aiming to go more political, little bit of celebrity stuff here and there, but definitely going more political because that's what I like talking about. And thank goodness for us, that's where the money is. Also, remember, it's still not too late to help us reach our goal. We were aiming at $5 super chats. We are currently at 1, 2, 3. I'll count it as 3 because we got a membership. But it's not too late to drop a $5 super chat or a $5 Cash App. Cash Apps also count. And we in the link to all that is at the top of the screen, and I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. But what do you guys think? Should I just go do you guys think the earlier the better? Because I could just say, F it, I'll just do 12 every day. Pretty soon. Going back pretty soon. Andrew Wilson married a lady with 2 baby daddies. I mean, that happens. So did Fugazi, the guy from No Fugazi podcast. He be trying to give advice, but bro married to a straight cum receptacle. Maybe we are 3 hours. I could be thinking about Atlanta. But what y'all think? Y'all think I should go 4? You like the later shows? I'm thinking about just keeping it 4. That'll be 7 New York. Kind of let everybody get their shit off, their stuff off. Y'all think suspect is lying about going to prison? He ain't lying. You could tell by that full body language he's scared and he depressed about it. But if he is, better for him. But look, guys, I'm going to head out. Thank you all for watching this. I appreciate everything you do. Please share this content on all social media platforms. Let people know we over here cooking, man. Let people know we are over here cooking. That's pretty much it. Until the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, do me a favor and take care of each other. Peace.